Well, Ian, that must be one of the craziest ends to a game you've ever been involved in.
Yeah, obviously it looked for a long time that we weren't going to break them down. They looked very resilient. Their tackles were, some of them were insane. The one on Danny Butterworth I thought was totally reckless, but luckily he got the ball, but even that. But never mind. Went down to a strange, terrible goal. Didn't sort out the first half, but if you look at the talent in the group, the way they sorted it out with a spare man, sometimes that mucks you up a little bit, but I thought we used the space really well. The people who came on made a difference to help, and in the end thoroughly deserved it, you know. So fantastic character from the group, fantastic work ethic, and some no mean skill in the end, so well done to everybody.
You spoke heavily in pre-match about Nigel being a manager that you're very familiar with and how he sets his teams up. You're probably not surprised in the way that his team went about business this afternoon and made it incredibly hard for us.
No, he's a very, very good coach, knows exactly what he's doing, and he stopped us in a lot of ways, you know. They played a different way than they did in the last game. Left his wingers out of it, obviously seeing us as a bit of a threat now, and it was working in the first half. I thought they closed us down. We looked like we didn't know where the space was or what we were doing in that, so, you know, hopefully we give them some guidance at half time. And we immediately looked right. It wasn't put some wide people on there who can run with it instead of have defenders out there, so really do feel for Coxey, but put Butts out there, put Cottrell out the other side, they both run with it, so, you know, we threw everything at it, and luckily we managed to get what I feel we deserved at the end of it, you know. We're still learning, you know, but you need to learn very, very quick in this level if you want to win on a regular basis, and I'm really delighted with the lads today. That was a tough fixture, really important that we managed to show the character and keep going, and to hear our fans like that at the end was excellent.
Credit to your side who kept going and going despite trailing so early this evening. Does that show how incredibly resilient your side are?
I hope we're showing some resilience. It didn't feel like that when I don't think that bloke meant that. He could try that another 15,000 times and it'd never go in there like that. So, but we shouldn't have had the ball down the side. It was a throw-in. We shouldn't have done that. But, you know, we got to get rid of these mistakes and just focus on the good bits, and that's what we've been doing over recent weeks, and I believe that's showing. I believe the new people are helping, and the group's growing, so I'm absolutely delighted with that. That's a really vital win.
Despite trailing so early, and you know, we finally found the deadlock late in the second half, but it felt like immediately from going behind it was all one-way traffic for Swindon to keep finding those chances.
Only second half, yeah. I thought second half we got a grips of the game, even without the extra man. I thought we got a grips of it and we pinned them back, and we understood what I wanted us to do, and the team knew where they wanted to go, and then the people off the bench I put on had different skill set to do different things, and I think that opened them up, and in the end they were hanging on, and you can tell by the tackles that were flying in, they got what they deserved with that. I felt that was, you know, definite booking, and there could have been one or two before that, in my opinion, but never mind. It is what it is. It's a tough division, and whatever happens, we've got to deal with it and keep going, and I felt the lads did that, you know, and the ones who came off the bench, who finished the game for us, did brilliantly, you know. Cabs taking that penalty was excellent, you know, so it's nice to have all the options I've got, and sometimes it's a bit of a headache, and the quicker I can get people working and moving together, the better. That's 2 out of the 3 that I said were the most important games of our season, and we managed to win both of them. I think that's 3 in a row now we've won, so we haven't done that for a long time, and it feels really good, but we got our head on the toughest game we've had for a long time, Carlisle. So let's see if we can get on that. And that's a hell of a journey as well.
We've spoken a number of times about how important you say that substitutions are playing, particularly now that you can make more than 3. We make 5 substitutions, but it felt that each and every substitution that you made this evening really had an impact. And initially with Danny Butterworth coming straight on at half-time, it felt like he had a real effect on the game, but then Pau Glatzel getting his goal and Kabongo Shamanga being involved in all 3 goals.
It's exactly what I'm asking for, you know. It's exactly what I want him to do, and if you want to be a good player, you need good players around you. If you want to be a great player, you need great players around you, and we're starting to get a team spirit that is second to none. So that's what I'm more proud of than anything. I know we've had ability here for a long, long time. From the first day I walked in, it's about how you handle that and how you grow as a group. And we looked like individuals in that first half where we didn't know where we were, so we just linked everybody together in the second half and give them some pointers, and it's just their ability that allows us to do that. That's not easy, even with against 10 men, particularly if you're one up. Sometimes you can sit on it and the crowd go home miserable, but we absolutely, totally and utterly moved them from pillar to post, and could have scored and could have scored and could have scored. In the end, we more than deserved the ones we got, I think. So I'm absolutely delighted. And that wasn't an easy game.
I want to talk about 2 players that have been in and out of the team, but probably lacking slight confidence at the moment in goal scoring. But Pau Glatzel getting a goal tonight and Kabongo Shamanga getting a goal and being heavily involved in the other 2 as well. It must give those 2 players fantastic confidence as well.
I expect my strikers to score goals. And if they're not in the team, they need to score when they come on. And that's all I say. It's quite simple, isn't it, really? And we've got people who can score if we give them the right service. And it's a problem with Harry Smith. He's so dominant in what he does. Sometimes the others go amiss, but today we needed everybody. And the more we got it and the more we played in little channels rather than just smack it at Harry, the better. We started the game by hitting Harry. We couldn't find him in the wind. We looked awful. And I told him to give it to our fullback, so I don't know what we were doing, to be honest, but you learn from it and you pick things up and you keep going, and all you want is your group to contribute no matter what, and not moan and not whinge about, because it's an occupational hazard being sub, and you got to do something about it when you need to come on. And with 5 subs allowed these days, it's a totally different game than it used to be. You have starters and you have finishers. Half the team, almost half the team, can be changed. So they're lucky. I remember football when there was only 1 sub, and I remember football when there weren't any subs. So do your job, get out there and make a difference when you can without moaning and whinging.
Harry Smith constantly leading from the front, and another goal for him to extend his goal tally even further.
There's no reason, if we can get in the service, that there's no reason. I see no reason for that stopping over, because he's such a handful and he's such a good player. I think the best one so far was his one the other evening, how he hit that with his wrong foot. I said, "Are you left-footed?" He went, "No, I'm right-footed." What a finish that was. So I stand on what I said when I first came here, how good the players are. And I hold my hand up to them, because they're not just individual players anymore. They're a group becoming a team who I'm very, very proud of.
I want to talk about leaders. It's a word that you use quite often within your teams. We're seeing some real leadership performances, whether that be from Ryan Delaney, Harry Smith, Ollie Clark, all out there on the pitch, really leading the team forward.
As well, by the way.
Yeah, Namdi. But there was a moment right at the end of that game where I felt that I saw a lot of leadership in Harry Smith giving the ball to Kabongo Shamanga to take the penalty. He could have quite easily taken the penalty himself and extended that goal tally further, but I think that shows such character for such an experienced player to give that to someone else and potentially give a goal-scoring partner more confidence.
He's a wonderful human being, and he's part of a developing group, and how he is and how he goes about his business now is commendable. I've had a word with him when I first came. He wasn't quite the same. I could show you some clips where he did things that I didn't like, but not anymore. I think he's got it, I think he's grasped it, and I think he's an absolutely wonderful human being. And that's the sort of gesture that everybody needs, but we share out things, and at the minute it's going good. We got to continue that. So when it goes bad, we need to stand up and be counted, and I thought we did tonight. So no wobbles, no worries, no this, no that. We just got about it and managed to get our head right with the changes. They went on and they understood what we needed. We still need to move the ball quicker. We've got some wonderful ability, but when you have a centre-half who can pass it like Will Wright, and he's got a bit of time on it. Some players, myself, when I had time, it looked awkward. I was better when I didn't have time, but give Will a little bit of time and he looks and he does and he creates things, and so I think that's another man of the match he's got who's absolutely outstanding again. But I can't fault any of them apart from the goal, and that'll be easy to look at, but the rest of it, absolutely delighted. Well done everybody, and let's get ready to go again.
Before we talk about the fans, because I know you've already mentioned how fantastic they were in voice this evening, I just want to talk about how we've created the Nigel Eady County Ground to be such a fortress. I think that's now 6 games unbeaten at home. It really feels like we're making this place a really tough place for opposition to come.
It's being together, and I think Christmas, over that period, the way the club was run, the way we did things, the way the players turned up for people's Christmas dues, and it wasn't going so well then, showed what we're all about. And I think the club's growing in that every day, getting stronger and stronger. And we got something else on Thursday that some of the lads will be going to, and we're travelling early on Friday. So yet again, it's another step forward, because we're a wonderful community club, something that we should be very, very proud of. And I want to make that bigger and stronger. I want the 1,500 people who were here last year, who ain't here this year, to come back. That makes us a bigger club again, and I want some of the other thousands of people who have got a grievance and don't think it's being run right. Let's just give us a chance and come and see if you can. And if you haven't got the money, I fully understand it, but it's worth, I would pay to watch us now, even in the first half. Luckily I haven't got to, but I would now. I wouldn't have done it before. But that's the change that can happen. And it's a wonderful feeling to be part of that. Really does make me proud, and thank you to everybody out there. And I will only celebrate when I feel there's things that are worthy of us, the size of the club and where we should be to celebrate. So I'm not celebrating in a minute. We're nowhere near where I think we can be.
Well, let's talk about the fans. You've already mentioned it. I think their voice at the end, or particularly in that third goal, just sums up what being a part of this club is, the size of this club, and that incredible roaring moment at the end of the game.
It's value for money, I think. The entertainment value at the minute, that's another 3 goals we've scored. I think that's plus, in my time here, I think that's plus 11 goals at home. I want to focus on the away form. It's nowhere near good enough, but we've got our first away win. And as I said before, if the boys go out there and play like you would with this badge on, and as long as they keep trying, we can't always guarantee you will win, but as long as they keep trying, then I think it's the least I offer you. So you add the skill on top of that, you add the organisation, which we're getting and leading ourselves out there. Then it's working towards the type of team that I've always wanted, that I demand, that plays as a supporter would, fights like a supporter would, with the skill level that they've got. So how can they fail? For me, they can't, providing they keep working that hard. So, and I'm very proud of every one of them at the moment.